What is the price of a soldier's soul? For Patrick Way, it was exactly $12,000. While his shipmates prepared for battle, he was taking photos of their vulnerabilities for Beijing. He arrived for work at 7:14 a.m. on a quiet morning at Naval Base San Diego, the beating heart of America's Pacific Fleet. Machinist's mate, 3rd class. Jincho Wei, 25, also known as Patrick Way, walked toward the gangway of the amphibious assault ship USS Essex. Just like he had done hundreds of times before, the FBI was already waiting. For 14 months, they had tracked every message, every payment, every secret document he stole from one of America's most powerful warships and sent straight to a Chinese intelligence officer on the other side of the world. They let him reach the gangway, then they took him down. This is the story of a young American sailor who took the oath to defend the United States, held a security clearance, served aboard a ship that carries Marines and launches aircraft across the Pacific, and then sold his country's secrets to communist China for $12,000. He took the oath, then took the money. Picture the scene. A 25-year-old sailor who came to America at 16, enlisted in the Navy, earned a clearance, and gained access to the most sensitive spaces on the USS Essex engine rooms, propulsion systems, weapons, documentation, operational manuals. China's intelligence services saw him as a target of exceptional value. In February 2022, the first message arrived on social media. The sender posed as a naval enthusiast, someone who simply loved ships. It felt harmless at first, a slow-building friendship designed to lower every defense. Wei was suspicious. He told another sailor he thought he was being targeted by Chinese intelligence. He even said it was quite obviously espionage. Then he kept talking anyway. The request started small photos of the Essex, then videos, then ship locations in San Diego Harbor. Soon they escalated to descriptions of weapon systems, and finally the real prize technical manuals pulled directly from restricted Navy computers. Between March 2022 and August 2023, 547 days of betrayal. Wei transferred thousands of pages of classified and export-controlled data. He handed over the central nervous system of a billion-dollar warship, from weapon controls to damage recovery protocols. Retired Navy officers testified that this information gave China concrete advantages in building their own amphibious forces and in learning exactly how to target American ships. These were not vague tips. These were the actual playbooks trusted to Wei because he had sworn an oath and received a clearance. In exchange, he received $12,000 over 18 months paid through encrypted apps and digital drop sites. On February 5th, 2023, 6 months before his arrest, Wei texted his own mother. Other Chinese serving in the US Navy are still trying to figure out how to make extra money and driving cabs, whereas I am just leaking secrets. He had even searched online for a previous espionage case and read exactly how that sailor was caught. Then he kept going. He knew the training. He had sat through the insider threat classes. He had been shown real cases of Navy personnel who sold secrets and what happened to them. He chose the money. The FBI and NCIS had built an airtight case. They had the communications, the payment records, the access logs, showing exactly which restricted files he downloaded and when. On the morning of August 2023, they let him walk all the way to the gangway of the USS Essex before they arrested him in front of his shipmates. A second sailor, construction electrician, 2nd class Wenheng Zhao, was arrested at the same base in a separate Chinese operation using the exact same method. Social media recruitment, slow relationship payment for information. 2 sailors, 2 Chinese handlers operating inside the home port of the Pacific Fleet at the same time. Wei's defense claimed he was manipulated, a lonely young man, craving connection, who was tricked into believing he was helping a private shipbuilding company. His mother wrote a letter to the court calling him a kind, polite, hard-working boy who had found faith in custody. But the prosecution was clear for $12,000, and the feeling of having a friend, Jin-Cho Wei, betrayed his country, his shipmates, and every American service member who still serves with honor. He took the oath, then took the money. On January 13, 2026, a federal judge sentenced him to 200 months, 16 years and 8 months in prison, a dishonorable discharge, and the permanent stain of espionage. The Deputy Attorney General said he had compromised the national security of the United States. The NCIS director said he had knowingly betrayed his fellow service members. This was the first time the serious espionage charge under U.S. Code Section 794 had ever been brought in the Southern District of California, the district that protects the Pacific Fleet. This is not just one sailor story. This is the method U.S. Counterintelligence calls virtual espionage, Chinese intelligence officers hunting American military personnel on social media, building fake friendships over months, testing how far the target will go, then paying for the secrets. We knew what he was doing. He told a friend it was espionage. He boasted to his mother. He ignored every warning he had been trained to recognize. The 60 manuals he stole are now in a Chinese intelligence database. The ship positions he reported the vulnerabilities. He described the damage control procedures for when American ships come under attack. All of it is in enemy hands because one sailor chose $12,000 over his oath. What hits hardest for veterans and military families is the sheer betrayal. This young man was trusted with access to one of America's most capable warships. He walked the same decks, ate in the same messes, and stood the same watches as thousands of honorable sailors. Then he sold their lives and their equipment to a foreign adversary for pocket change. Every veteran who served with honor feels that knife in the back. Every family who sent a son or daughter into the Navy wonders how many more Wei-type recruits are still out there, still chatting on encrypted apps, still deciding whether the money is worth it. And then there is the mother. She received the text where her son openly admitted he was leaking secrets. She wrote a letter asking the court for leniency. Did she try to stop him? Did she report it? Or did she stay silent while her son handed China the tools to target American ships? That question is burning in the comments right now. Was this a failure of one weak individual, or does it point to something deeper about divided loyalties in some immigrant families? Keep in mind, this isn't about heritage. It's about the violation of an official oath of allegiance. Drop your honest take below no sugarcoating. The FBI let him reach the gangway because the case was already ironclad. They had watched him for 14 months. They had the proof. When the cuffs went on, Wei's first honest words in 18 months were reportedly, "I'm screwed, too late." The damage was already done. The manuals on how to fight and survive aboard an American amphibious assault ship are now on the other side of the world because one sailor took the oath, then took the money. This is virtual espionage in action, slow, patient, and devastatingly effective against young service members who feel isolated or tempted by easy cash. China is not sending traditional spies in trench coats. They are sending friend requests. They are building relationships that feel real until the documents start flowing. Wei was not the first. He will not be the last. Not be the Haisha. But his case stands as one of the clearest public records of exactly how they do it and exactly what it costs when someone chooses the money over the flag. Folks, after everything you just heard, the 60 manuals, the boast to his mother, the training he ignored the mother's letter, asking for mercy was Jin-Cho Wei, a manipulated young man who made one terrible mistake? Or was he a calculated traitor who knew exactly what he was doing from the first suspicious message, type A, if you think he was groomed and trapped. Type B, if you think he was a willing spy who sold his country for $12,000. Be honest in the comments. And here's the question that should haunt every military family when Wei texted his mother that he was just leaking secrets. Did she try to stop him? Did she report it? Or did she look the other way while her son armed America's enemies? This case is ripping open a raw debate about loyalty, family pressure, and what happens when someone raised in one country puts on the uniform of another. Veterans are saying this feels like a knife in the back. Families are asking how we protect the next generation of sailors from the same trap. Drop your thoughts below. This one is hitting hard. The sentence is 16 years and 8 months. The damage may last decades. Now, the Navy is forced to overhaul its security protocols for every sailor with a clearance. The cost of this leak isn't just $12,000. It's the millions needed to fix the breach. Should the sentence be 16 years or life imprisonment for treason 60? Technical manuals on how to run, fight, and survive aboard one of America's most important warships are now in Chinese hands because one sailor took the oath, then took the money. Virtual espionage won this round. The question is how many more rounds America is willing to lose before we treat this threat with the seriousness it demands. If this story made you angry, if it made you think about the sailors still serving with honor while others sell them out, hit like right now. Subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss the next case we break down. Share this with every veteran and military family you know. They need to see exactly how the enemy is coming after our own. Drop your verdict on Weigh your thoughts on the mother's role, and tell me which federal espionage case you want us to investigate next. The comments are where the real conversation happens. Stay vigilant, stay loud, and remember when someone takes the oath, then takes the money, there is no coming back.